What's up YouTube, my name is Gio, and the new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer just came out this week and it is massive. It's the first MCU movie after Avengers Endgame, the final movie in Phase 3, and set up for Phase 4. So needless to say, this movie's pretty big. However, as much as 10-year-old me wants to climb out of my bitter body and freak out at the trailer, when I watched it, I still was a bit skeptical. I wasn't as hyped as I thought I would be. But why? I love Spider-Man, him and the Justice League were my childhood. So why did the Far From Home trailer scare me for the future of Spider-Man in the MCU? Well, after watching the trailer more times than I've watched the movies in the MCU combined, I made a list to try and work out my grievances. Here's the list, and after staring at the list for a long time, I realized something. I am fucking stupid. This list makes no goddamn sense, except for one point, but I feel as if some people may feel the same way as I used to, especially if they didn't like Spider-Man Homecoming. So let's go through this list and debunk past me. God, what a sentence. To start off, when I say CGI, I'm referring to how the Iron Spider suit looks. Granted, I like the suit's aesthetic, I'm just not a fan of CGI suits. I'm a firm believer that one thing that should always be practical in superhero movies are the suits. I just think they have much better depth than CGI, but the effects will probably change from now and when the movie is released, so that's a dumb argument. With the suit itself, I didn't like how Peter wasn't wearing his outfit from Homecoming. Then I thought about it for like a minute and I realized, no duh, he's wearing the Iron Spider suit. It's his most top of the line suit and it holds emotional significance because it was the same suit Tony offered him in Homecoming and used to save him in Infinity War. With Tony gone, it's the last bit of him that Peter has and he doesn't want to let that go. With the multiverse thing and the story being too big, one, the multiverse was already established in both Avengers Endgame and in Doctor Strange, so it's not like it came out of nowhere. It's just now at the potential forefront of the story. 2, a story can have a big idea but still be a personal story. And Homecoming was already a smaller Spider-Man story, so this too big statement is flat out stupid. Lastly, the character Mysterio? Yeah, he's f***ing Mysterio. For all we know, this multiverse talk is just him taking advantage of the fragile state of the world and S.H.I.E.L.D. after the snap. He's a master of illusions after all, so why would anyone trust what he says? Next is a point I actually still hate. Why would you reveal that MJ is going to find out that Peter is Spider-Man? Seriously, that is a huge revelation, and you just show it with no problem. Also, there's a theory going around that MJ is Nick Fury's kid, and I am not a fan. I feel like it could take away from MJ's character rather than adding to it, which is already a problem with her in the MCU that I hope this movie fixes, because MJ has so much potential. The last couple of reasons I give kind of go hand in hand, with the main question being, will Far From Home be a good Spider-Man movie? Now, to understand why I asked this question, you need to know my thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming. When I first saw Homecoming and up until this year, I loved it. It was my favorite movie in the MCU and I couldn't get enough. I must have watched it like 4 to 5 times since it came out. Then along the line, I was convinced that Homecoming was a good movie, but a bad Spider-Man movie. Kinda like how Batman v Superman was unfaithful to the character of Batman. The argument is that Homecoming does the same to Spider-Man, except Homecoming is actually a good movie. My fear was that Far From Home wouldn't do the web-slinger the justice he deserves, so I ended up rewatching Spider-Man Homecoming again to try and figure out what made it a bad Spider-Man movie and how Far From Home could avoid these mistakes. However, after I rewatched it, I came to the conclusion that I am such a moron. Yes, no real new information there. Homecoming is a good Spider-Man movie, a damn good one at that. Peter Parker is very faithful to the comics. He's a more active protagonist, meaning he pushes the plot along by acting instead of reacting. He isn't put into dangerous situations, he throws himself at it, and when he screws up, he deals with the consequences of losing the suit and still throws himself right back at danger, this time much more under-equipped. And before anyone says that there are no consequences for Peter's actions in this movie, let's quickly break down all the events that Peter caused, quote-unquote, and see why it's not his fault. The convenience store destruction was collateral damage and had nothing to do with Peter. Sure, he decided to go after the criminals, but he didn't make the weapons and the thugs overcharged it, taking the situation out of Peter's hands. Also, the guy gets his store back, so he's probably fine. Ditching Ned at Liz's party. Yeah, he decides to go explore a potential threat instead of using Spider-Man as a circus act. Also, Ned knows he's Spider-Man and would obviously be understanding and even tells him to not come back because of Flash. Leaving the decathlon and just coming back. 1, never quit, just said he couldn't make it because of his dark internship, and the teacher even asked if he could take off. He decides to go after Vulture's gang with full intention of coming back in the morning in time for the decathlon, and the fact that his school still won without him makes it less likely that they'd be mad at Peter. With the Chitauri power core and the danger it put the class into, to that I say, he didn't know it was a bomb. And when he does find out it's a bomb, he tries his damnedest to get out of the damage control HQ and tries to let Ned know the danger that he's in, to no prevail. Now we get to the ferry scene where Peter has a chance to let Tony know what's going on, but he doesn't. He makes this decision. He makes the choice to try and stop Toomes by himself, leading to the ferry's destruction and causing Tony to intervene and take away Peter's suit. In other words, consequences. And Peter getting the suit back at the end doesn't take away from the fact that he lost it, and learned that he doesn't need the suit to be Spider-Man. The point I'm trying to make here is that for a long time, I thought that this version of Spider-Man was more or less an Iron Man sidekick. I thought the soul of Spider-Man wasn't there, and was concerned with this line in the trailer.
The world needs the next Iron Man.
However, after rewatching Homecoming, I realized that this is a great interpretation of Spider-Man. He's the heart and soul of the one in the comics, always throwing himself at danger without a second thought. The next Iron Man line is more or less Peter wanting to become a beacon of hope and inspiration, much like Tony was for him. Plus, it looks like Peter might be working on his own suit in the trailer, which I adore. I'm a firm believer that I believe Peter should be able to make his own suit, and if he does in this movie, I will be ecstatic. I've come to the conclusion that I wasn't scared for this trailer because I thought it was bad. I was scared because of how much I want this movie to be good, and how much I want other people to enjoy it. Because I love Spider-Man. And I hope you do too. Anyway, I do hope you guys did enjoy the video. Quick announcement, thank you guys so much for the support on the One Marvelous Scene video and the Endgame review. Just, especially the One Marvelous Scene, like that video has gone actually massive compared to anything else that I've ever seen that what I've done on YouTube. It's great. It's freaking great. I love the interaction in the comments section. And I want the same thing on this video. So let me know in the comments below. What do you think of the Far From Home trailer? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Tell me why in the comment section below and we can have a discussion. I'm always reading the comments and replying to as many people as I can. Anyway, I do hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys liked it and new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, if you think the channel's potential, hit the same buttons. Anyway, my name is Gio, and I will talk to you all later. Peace.